The Baltimore Orioles are now 11-4 in their last 15 games after a series sweep over the Los Angeles Angels to close out this most recent homestand. But they're hitting the road again, so I'll break down everything that happened last time out and what's to come here from the PNC Digital Desk. I'm Annie Claff, and this is presented by PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. The last two series now, we've seen those bats put on a show, scoring 10 runs against the Detroit Tigers in Game 2 and 11 in Game 3 against the Angels. Gary Sanchez has been a huge catalyst for this offense in the last series, hitting a home run in his first game back from the IL, and then a grand slam the next day in this 11-2 win. But it wasn't just the bats that got it done against the Angels to close out the series, it was a complete victory. Scott Bluette served as an opener for Cade Povich, and we've known the starter struggles with runners on base this season, but he allowed no earned runs in his outing out of the bullpen. And Sir Anthony Dominguez escaped a bases-loaded situation, snagging 2 outs to end the inning. But some news with roster moves earlier today. Cade Povich was placed on the 15-day injured list with left hip inflammation. Colin Selby has been brought up from AAA Norfolk to even the roster. But despite a complete win and another series sweep in June, the O's need to keep closing in on 500. The next chance to do so is against a familiar division foe in an unfamiliar location, at least for regular season play. Baltimore heads down to Steinbrenner Field in Tampa to take on the Rays. Their temporary home as Tropicana Field was damaged during Hurricane Milton. Now, it's actually quite late in the season for these two to face off. In the history of Tampa Bay's existence as a Major League Baseball team, which started out as the Devil Rays in 1998 and became the Tampa Bay Rays after 2007, this is the latest the Orioles and the Rays have ever faced each other for the first time in a given season. And the Rays are coming off of a series sweep over one of the best teams in baseball, the Mets, so the O's need to carry their winning momentum down to Florida. Well, we just saw Baltimore offense play extremely well against left-handed pitchers in the last two series, but they'll be seeing a lot of righties in Tampa Bay. You might be wondering why my player to watch is a righty bat in Jordan Westburg, but he actually has reverse splits and deserves to stay in this lineup against these right-handed pitchers. He'll serve as the designated hitter tonight for the series opener. In 5 games back from the injured list, Westy is batting .316 with a .1251 OPS and is 4 for 8 with 5 RBIs against right-handers. And speaking of those right-handers, the first one the Orioles will face tonight is Ryan Pepiot. Luckily for a guy like Westburg, Pepiot's splits favor right-handers as he's allowed a .266 opponent batting average to righty bats this season as opposed to just .179 to lefty bats. Overall, though, this Rays pitching staff has looked pretty solid in 2025 with just a .345 ERA. For the Orioles, ace Zach Eflin will face his former team that the O's acquired him from at the trade deadline last July. F has had a couple of uncharacteristic starts since coming back from the IL in early May, but his last 3 outings have all been quality starts. He continues to be dominant with elite control as he's in the 98th percentile for walk rate. That'll wrap things up for me here from the PNC Digital Desk before the Orioles take on the Tampa Rays for the first time this season. I'm Annie Claff, and this is presented by PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865.